Hey everyone.
Hello.
Sorry, I'm driving. If Surya is not on, so can someone else kickstart the meeting? It's 2 minutes already.
Hey, Girish. I think
Hey,
I should jump on right now. We do have a kind of schedule of who is doing the meeting, so let me just ping her first. And then if she's not joining, I'll do that.
okay, go ahead, please. Thank you.
All right, while I'm waiting for a reply, let's start with our agenda. Can you see my screen well?
Yeah, I can see it.
Thank you. All right, so welcome everyone. That's OVN-Kubernetes community meeting. Today is December the 8th, 2025. Let's follow the code of conduct and be nice to each other. I think the meeting is already being recorded. So anyway, the first thing, as usual, is CI issue triage. Today, from me, I have 3 issues that I prepared to be assigned. There is one more that we tried to assign for a couple of meetings before that, and I think I ended up assigning that to Patrick. But last time I checked, the latest log is now stale, so there is not a single log of a failing test anymore, so I don't think it can be worked on anymore. And I'm talking about the Segress IP one. So first of all, every time I'm looking at all these CI failures, I know they are happening. I see much less comments on the actual flake reports. So please, every time you see a failing test, even if you already know what that one is, add a comment to the actual issue so that we have fresh logs and so that we can see which tests are failing more than the others and then prioritize them based on that. So for now, I guess we'll just be waiting for another instance of this egress IP failure to happen. And after that, we'll be able to start working on that again. Now, for the 3 new ones that I added here, first one, also probably lots of you have seen that with the S-flow problem, trying to validate flows of the BR-int. Last failure I saw 2 hours ago. Is there anyone who would like to volunteer to try and improve our CI? Or maybe anyone who has any more context or, I don't know, worked on that before, it would be really nice.
I worked on it a long time ago. I mean, I have to go refresh myself, but like, if it's not that urgent, I can take it. I just won't be able to get to it probably for like next week or 2 weeks.
Well, I mean, having some assign is better than no assign, so, if you don't mind, not that one. I'll try to assign you here for now. And if anyone has any free time and has a feeling they would like to improve our CI, please do that. I am in the meantime.
Yeah, if anyone wants to take it from me, like just reassign yourself or contact me and I'll reassign you.
Or maybe you could even help people if they're not very familiar with what's happening there to get up to speed or something.
Sure.
You can have a Slack chat. Suggesting help usually works. Yeah, I just wanted to say I didn't add another frequently failing one from the network policy API that also probably lots of you have seen because I'm working on that right now in the Kubernetes upstream. As soon as that merges, I'm bringing that downstream. So that one is not here. I know it's failing very often, just because I already know who is assigned and working on that being me. Okay, thank you, team. There are, well, 2 more, so let's see how that goes. Another one is egress IP validation on cluster default network with this funny secondary host egress IP tag. I found it failing on multiple CI jobs on the second retry, but then when I went and checked how the regular jobs are doing, it seems like it also fails on the first retry on all the jobs I checked. So it only ever passes on the second try, and I haven't checked all the jobs, of course, but it seems like this test is slightly problematic.
Assign this
So-
one to me. I think
Oh.
this is the one I've added recently. So yeah, it should be passing.
Awesome, thank you. All right, well, this one at least has fresh logs. And last one, oh, keyword again. Why did I add it? Let's see. Oh, again, I just also, I guess I sorted this time by the last updated. It looks like most of the last problem comments are coming from me. But there is another keyword failure. I'm not sure if Kiki is here. I know we are currently working on another fix for a different test, and I don't know if that's going to be related to that or not. But it's about like local net topology. I don't know if it makes it more special. Patrick, do you happen to know if that could be affected by the fix that you have already reviewed and I'm looking at now? It's like also about maintaining TCP connections. I don't know.
The one we were looking at was mostly directed at L3, right? So default. I don't think this is
Yeah.
similar, but
Right. Yes.
well, this is parsing a string from iperf, so Kike closed it and then reopened it as
Yeah, I don't know what happened. I mean, maybe by mistake because he closed and reopened it at almost the same time.
he
I
said
guess.
we are going to open a new one since it's a different error.
Oh,
We have also a fix for it. So I guess, do you mind assigning it to him and asking what's up?
let's
can do that
see if
offline
it's
too.
possible. Yeah, okay, I'll assign and then also ping him. Okay, that's good enough. Thank you all. All right, that's all the CI issues for today, so we don't need to struggle. Thanks to everyone who volunteered to help with our CI. And then Surya is next here with 1.2 release update.
When we did the planning a few months back for the 1.2 release, I think we said tentatively we would do it on December. I'm trying to aim for December 19th, but it's not like we finished all the features we planned for the 1.2 release. So our original planning had all those features that I've listed. Clearly, we overplanned. I don't think we finished. Maybe we finished transit router, right? So our original plan was no overlay, AI MCP troubleshooting, EVPN, network connect, dynamic UDN controllers, transit router, expand subnets in UDN, and pre-configured UDN addresses. We finished pre-configured UDN addresses, great job, Patrick. And then we finished transit router, great job, Nadia. Not other things. AI MCP is in progress. It's a separate repo. So it doesn't really count towards our release cut. So that one I can consider it as done. The other stuff, not so much. But I don't think we should delay a release because features are not done. It just means that all these features will land in 1.3. So is anybody having any concerns with me cutting a December 19th release for 1.2? With the clause that obviously all of these features, when they're done, we can easily cut a 1.3, or a 1.3 would be sometime in March end. So I want to try to do a release every 3 months or every 4 months. So either have 3 releases in a year or 4 releases in a year.
So didn't we say it was 6 months? Any reason why it's 3 months or 4 months?
That brings me to my next point, because I'm starting my incubation application, and also at KubeCon, I got asked a few times on why we are not cutting frequent releases. There are people who are using our release from 6 months ago, and 6 months is a really long time. If we are really let's say, an active project with things like, I think things are changing slightly with the more visibility we get.
Yeah, my only worry is you would release often, but very less features are only half features, right? So, do you know what's the cadence of Calico and other CNIs?
I'm pretty sure a lot of the projects are cutting 3 or 4 releases. Calico and Cilium are special because they sell their CNI, right? They're also an enterprise version. But for Cilium, I can frequently see patch releases and releases. I don't remember the frequency off the top of my head, but I can quickly check for Cilium.
Yeah, and what about OpenShift, right? So, like at least the closest commercial.
Yeah, Kubernetes does 3 per year,
No,
right?
So
OpenShift.
aren't we going
OpenShift is also
to
3 per
follow
year.
the
OpenShift
Kubernetes
is
one?
Yeah, we were going to follow Kubernetes one, but that's also fine with me, which is 3 per year. The
Yeah.
once in 6 months is a bit too long.
no.
I mean,
We
being
actually, when Dan Williams and all of us were there, we said it's going to be 6 months so that we always track every other Kubernetes release. It's just so that cutting a release is one thing. Then if somebody follows it, backporting it, and then n-1, n-2, right? What is our cadence? Is it we backport bugs to only n-1 or n-2? If you have more releases, then backport becomes a problem.
So I think we agreed, Girish, that at a time we would only support 2, right? The nth branch and then the n-1. So one, you're allowed to backport 1. So once I cut 1.2, we stop support for 1.0. I think that is in record in one of our previous meetings when we agreed. And I think it's even documented on our website for backport process.
Yeah. No, but the closest thing that I'm just asking questions. I'm on the fence on either thing. Like the closest thing that comes to commercialization of Oven Kubernetes is OpenShift, right? That's the only thing that kind of sells support for Oven Kubernetes, correct? Through the OpenShift platform. What is the release cadence of OpenShift? It's also 4 times a
3
year,
per
3 times a
year.
year?
It's 3 per year. We follow Kubernetes release, yeah.
I see. See, I don't know, 4 is too much, 3 might be, I would have preferred 2, but 4 is definitely too much, I think. See, the question is, of course, it will make us more disciplined if the releases are more, but the thing is, until we prove ourselves, going to 4 would be better. I mean, until, we land all the features at the set time, we can do more frequent releases. Otherwise, we'll be releasing features. Sorry, we'll be making releases often, but with very less features. That's the only drawback.
Yeah, I think that's a good concern. So I'm happy with 3 per year, right? So our last release was in August. If we don't cut a release in December, that's actually so August 12th is when I released it, right? So it's September, October, November, December. It's 4 months. So I think that's our 3rd release, right? And then I can wait another 4 months and the next release can be in April.
Yeah. See, at least downstream in NVIDIA, the thinking we want to do is I want to point to an upstream tagged release in Oven Kubernetes and tell people, hey, go try this. This has all those things, correct? For us, UDN interconnect, UDN, dynamic UDN controls are very urgent. So if it does not make into 1.2, then I have to wait till 1.3, correct? Which is, if you cut in December, then it will be in March, correct? If you had kept the 6 months cadence, then it would have been February, I would think, correct? So 6 month, is it January and July, or now that we did August, it's August and February, or what's the?
So that's the thing. We have not been very strict, right? Like with cutting releases, and I'm trying to figure out a hard line on if we agree on a date, then we cut it regardless of whether features land or not. So last year, I think we cut it on August 12th, right? The 1.1.
Yeah.
But if you look at the history of 1.0, it was and the reason why 1.1 got delayed is because we didn't have the user-facing docs for BGP, for UDN, the OKIPs were getting moved from OpenShift upstream. We had a few items that we were still, and that label thing on whether we want to make IC the default mode or not. So we kept adding a few things, and then that release got delayed, and it was August 12th. And I think the 1.0.0 release was it was on June the previous year. So we had a whole year of gap where we didn't have a release. And I'm trying to make it a bit more disciplined. So I don't really mind if we agree on 3. Like 3 is a good start, like you said. So we can see how we go. And then if you need need features for NVIDIA, I can cut a tag. It's not a big problem.
Yeah. See, I was just thinking, see, we'll have to have more CI lanes now, right? Now we have to stop all the 1.1 run and move to 1.2, and then we'll have to test the master.
The
Then
1.2 lanes are easy because they get auto moved. What is hard is adding lanes to 1.1 because nobody does it. I think even today, given we are on like the 1.1 lane today doesn't have CI because we didn't add a PR for it. But that only happens when the first person who tries to backport hits.
yeah, well, yeah, that's correct. I was just trying to say, should we, cut one more 6-month release and start in 2026, we do 3 months, or because in that way, the 1.2 we can also deprecate Avan Central, make it IC only, and then have all the features that we promised, which is EVPN overlay, BGP, UDN interconnect, dynamic UDN controllers, and all those things, and then
So this
1.2
is
will be our
exactly, yeah,
Uber.
I understand that, but this is exactly what we tried last year. And UDN and BGP delayed, and we delayed the release along with it. So it was supposed to happen in
Right.
February, and we cut the release in August. So I don't
Right.
mind I mean, it's up to all the maintainers and the community members. If all of us feel that delaying the release is what is best for us, I'm actually okay to do that. I just hope that I hope that that's what we all want, right?
Yeah.
Do you think we should? It looks like there is still some parts to be discussed here. Maybe we should start a Slack thread or something and finalize our release strategy and like how exactly we decide that we are ready for a release. It looks like we have some ideas, but we've also already spent quite some time.
Yeah, let's do a Slack thread. This is just my opinion, that maybe 1.2 make this Uber release with all the features landed that like we promised, and then do 3 releases per year. Because I think 1.2 will have amazing features like UDN interconnect, UDN, and then all the stuff, right? Which is our and 1.3 will be deprecating Central, and then also deprecating NAT in favor of UDN. I think not rushing through it would be great. But yeah, let's start a Slack.
Yeah. Let's start the Slack thread so we don't lose all these nice things, especially if we write them down and we have that documented. That would be nice.
No. Yeah, makes sense to me.
Awesome. Okay. So it looks like there is still some discussion. I guess the main outcome of this question to be had. So yeah, Surya, please let's start the Slack thread if you don't mind. The next one is Team with the upstream CI DPU testing.
Yeah, so we now have Nithya's downstream rig. It runs every night, and when it has results, it will post to our Slack channel. You'll see something that says like DPU CI nightly result with pass or fail. And then it'll tell you if it opened any GitHub issues or updated them with the past results, or it'll close them automatically if the bug was fixed and the CI run passes for that scenario. So that's done, and now I'm working on a new behavior where if any maintainer types /DPU test in a PR, that will kick off downstream to run, and then it will report the result back to that PR in a GitHub comment. So that's the next thing I'm working on. And then we have another downstream rig that's managed by the Mellanox folks, which we're also going to be hooking up to, which will enable downstream testing with DPF as well. So we'll have 2 sources of CI that are validating DPU and DPF.
So cool.
That is
So
awesome.
yeah. So Tim, this thing when you call it DPU test, how does it? Is it poll from downstream, right? Because you cannot go through firewall and all this stuff. So are you polling? Okay.
Yeah, there's like a downstream job that's polling for issues upstream to look for somebody put DPU tests and they're a maintainer in Oven Kubernetes, and then once it sees that, it fires off a downstream pipeline.
Okay. See the DPU test. I think we should just confine it to maintainers because
It is.
there is some.
It looks up current maintainers upstream and only allows them to kick off the pipeline.
Okay. Yes, there's some security ramifications. So I'll ping you offline. I mean, obviously, maintenance have to be very careful when they tag the DPU test because I don't want it's being recorded, so I'm not going to talk about it. I'll ping you offline, Tim. So
sure.
Okay, otherwise that's great news. We're finally testing something. Okay, any other questions? Otherwise, we are moving.
Yes, one from me. Regarding the testing, which testing is that rig enabled by? Is the Kubernetes traffic test from the same repo?
Yeah, it does some functionality tests, and then it also does the performance flow tests. And if the throughput is under 15 gigs per second, it considers that a failure. And we can make that better in the future. But it tests CX6 cards. It tests GPU in like our OVN-K DPU host and DPU node mode, and then it also tests GPU in NIC mode. I think Nithya is coming up with a description of each test scenario, but when the downstream CI runs and it runs each test scenario, it checks each scenario to see which one failed, and then it will open GitHub issues specifically for that test scenario. So it tracks them individually.
I understand. Basically, like there is another repo under the OVN-Kubernetes main organization. I pasted the link inside the chat, and I'm wondering if we're reusing those tests or not. Because then we can have the tests upstream and we can contribute to the testing scenarios also upstream.
Right. Yeah. So I think we're using a fork of that downstream, and we had a discussion about moving to using upstream. So I'd like to do that.
Okay, sounds great.
Okay, anything else on that topic? If not, then thank you again, team. It's a great job. And then Surya will be next with the sandbox application. Oh, incubation application. We are already sandbox.
Yeah, since we have 3 adopters, I think we should go ahead and get started with this incubation application like we agreed in KubeCon as well. What we would need is blog posts from NVIDIA and Red Hat. So it would be good if we can get that assigned to people and get started, because we've been talking about blog posts for a really long time, but our web page is just blank on blogs.
Yeah. I'll for the NVIDIA side, I have the largest context. I'll take a stab on. So now that we have LLMs, so hopefully I just need to give it a concept and to expand on it. So yeah, let me take a stab at it. Thanks. Now I have motivation because of the application.
Yeah, thanks, Girish. That would be awesome. And if
Yeah,
anybody else wants to help out with the incubation application, reach out to me on Slack.
and good to know that you guess you're getting somebody to fix the website. That's pretty cool. And
Oh
if
yeah,
they can,
that's the next. That was the next item. Yeah. We are. I think she's starting on 19th of Jan. She's an intern, so she might need a lot of help because I don't think that she might understand everything of everything. But she could be the one who takes the time to post the PRs to fill out our empty pages. But her primary role is to try to get the website a bit more aesthetically better, because today it's just very static and dead. But to the point where it's still easy for us to maintain. So I'm not gonna ask the intern to go and do a full-blown Django website where it's a separate repo we need to maintain. That's just maintenance burden. But whatever we have today, I will try to ask her to improvise and get it better. And then she'll start filling out the empty pages. But if she does PRs, it means at least the maintainers and everybody in the community will at least need to review it, because I think she's only for 6 months. But I do want to have her have a good upstream community experience. So at least hopefully when she leaves, the website is better than it is today. When she joins, I'll try to give a formal intro of her.
makes sense.
Okay, that's also some great news. I also think, Surya, maybe if you have some more to do things on the incubation application, maybe you can also create like issues or something so that people just at least see what kind of tasks there are, so that it's maybe easier to volunteer. Otherwise, we may not even know what that means. So I can certainly help. I kind of know some CNCF people, I guess.
Yeah, that's a great idea. I'll try to do some issues so that it's easy for people to self-assign and go from there.
Okay, sounds good. And I guess we've also covered this nice topic. Having more people, especially working on the docs, is always extremely appreciated. Okay, anything else on these two topics? Any other questions? If not, then let's get to the next one and introduce the new members.
Yeah, I think there's a few people who have joined the OVN-Kubernetes team at Red Hat, but also the network plumbing team. Lionel and Marty are here. Lionel, do you want to go ahead and just introduce yourself and tell us briefly about what area you will be working in?
Yeah, sure. So I'm Lionel. I was working in Ericsson before, and I joined Red Hat 2 months ago. I am based in Sweden, and I'm mostly focusing on DRF for networking and secondary networks in Kubernetes. So I've been working with Network Service Mesh before, Multus, and now towards Evolution, directly integrated with Kubernetes. So I've been pushing for the multi-network within the multi-network community before, and now towards the working group, the VAST management.
Also, it's great to see you here, Lionel.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, welcome
Yeah.
aboard.
Yeah, he's a great ad for sure. Matteo could not make it today because it's a public holiday, but he already landed his first PR in OVN-Kubernetes. Thanks to him for approving it. It was the log level change that happens at startup. So he's based off of Italy. He joins us from Google. He'll be focusing on EVPN and FRR Kubernetes in the meanwhile. So his first feature will be EVPN and OVN-Kubernetes, so you can expect more PRs from him. And the third one is Marty. Marty, I think you're already here, so you can introduce yourself as well.
Hey, yeah. I'm Marty. I'm based in Florida in the United States, in like the Tampa, St. Petersburg area. I came here from Microsoft where I worked on like Windows OS container networking components, and now I'm primarily my main focus right now seems to be like OVNK scale issues and performance issues. So that'll I think we're focusing primarily on UDN scale issues right now.
Yeah, thanks,
That's
Marty.
an area that needs some help. Great to see you here too.
Yeah, internally, Joe has been starting with the performance and scale testing for UDNs, and we're trying to see the max gap ceilings of UDNs. And I think we have quite some work to do there. We figured out that the memory looks pretty bad, at least today, for the max gap. But yeah, anyways, there's a lot of work to do there. I know that Tim is going to be working a lot with Marty. So Marty, definitely start a thread with Tim if you need any help on the UDN perf scale issues.
So with regard to BGP and EVPN and FRR, right? So Tim, you had an OCAP that was off of your repo. Is that OCAP going to be picked over by Matteo and then published as an OCAP to the main upstream? What's the deal there?
No, I think my OCAP should be merged soon. I addressed like the last comments. I'm just waiting for Jaime, I guess, to review it. And then once it's merged, I don't know who from Red Hat is going to implement it. Surya, maybe you can tell us.
Yeah,
I saw a PR from you, Surya, for like the API and stuff.
Yeah, EVPN will be Jaime, me, Patrick, Matteo, and Perry from Red Hat. So Tim's only doing the enhancements. We will be doing the implementation for it.
I see. Okay. The internal link that I got shared was from his repo, so I wasn't sure there was already a PR to upstream repo for the okay. That's good to know. Yeah, I'm good. So this EVPN. So this would be supporting all primary and secondary UDNs, or is it just, sorry, I've not read through it. I'm a little behind. I'm going to catch up with Tim this week.
It's
But just
only
clearly,
primary CUDNs. Yeah, as of now, it's only primary CUDNs, which is also what we support with BGP.
okay. Primary UDN and CUDN of type primary.
Just CUDNs.
Well, not even, oh, just CUDNs, not even primary UDNs. Not even
Yeah.
UDNs, okay.
Sorry, I'd still like to review the code though. So if you can just tag me on the PRs.
Oh, yeah, that would be helpful. Yeah, I was about to ask you if you would have cycles for that, but it's good you volunteer. Yeah, we'll be sending a few your way then, Tim.
Cool. Thanks.
And then the same for no overlay. So thanks, Tim, and everyone for all the reviews. We got the no overlay enhancement merged, and Pang has started sending out PRs. So Ricardo, Pang, and Arnab will be working on no overlay implementation. They also have some PRs ready. So you can see a few of those merging as well, Girish and Tim.
Okay. See, no overlay, sorry, again, I'm behind. No overlay is for all the UDNs or just CUDN, or what's the...
No overlay is for layer 3. So it's default network and layer 3 CUDNs. Again, because BGP doesn't support UDNs, we don't support it on UDNs today. But layer 2, of course, not, because it's over L3 fabric BGP. So
Sorry. So, anyways, let me read one thing and I'll ping you guys on Slack. Because
Is
everything
there
seems to be landing on CUDNs, right? Is there any reason why it's not being done on PUDNs, like UDN
Yeah.
of type 3 primary?
Yeah, because like CUDN is admin privilege, right? And so
Yeah.
with like BGP, we don't want to allow any user to just enable advertising their network into a BGP external fabric. That could be a security problem. So we decided to defer supporting that until later, and then EVPN's just copying the same thing. So
I see.
yeah, until we have like a secure way to do it, we've deferred implementing that.
Yeah. But thing is, one could imagine there would be an API on top of UDN, and then that API would prevent people. Yeah, I'll talk to you offline. Then. Let's let it go. Because more features are landing on CUDN, right? Local net CUDN, and then so I'm trying. It's already digressing, right? So I'm trying to see if RBAC is the if RBAC if security is something, posture is something that the deployer takes care of through an API or some other front end that front ends the UDN, then we should be good, right? So I'll talk to you offline to see how we can make this work for us. So yeah.
Okay, let me first finalize on the last topic we were trying to discuss in the agenda and just say welcome to all the new members to our community again. We are very happy to see you. And then I would also love to encourage you to add other topics to the agenda so that we at least have some notes and can see what was discussed in the meeting. So now, if you don't mind, we'll go on with our agenda. And that means Surya is next here with the 22nd of December meeting. Should we keep or cancel?
yeah, is it a shutdown week at NVIDIA? Are folks going to be here? In which case we can have the meeting, or should we cancel it?
I would ask if there's anyone against canceling that.
Because the one after that is on the 5th of Jan. So the same question for 5th as well of Jan.
Actually, 5th of Jan, we'll all be there. I mean, most of us should be there. 22nd that week, we have a shutdown. Not shutdown, we have 2 days off, Friday and Monday, and then it's followed by Christmas.
Yeah, so maybe we can cancel 22nd, but keep the 5th, right?
Yeah, keep the first meeting of the year. Yeah. I'm pretty sure folks on NVIDIA said that December 22nd, they're going to take off to make it a long week. So go ahead, please.
Okay, yeah, I'm just writing down what we just agreed on. 22nd, we are canceling. 5th of January, we keep. Okay, well, that's a good decision. I guess we can move on with our agenda then. And then Pang is next with the, I guess, pull request review questions.
Yeah, I guess
Yeah, that's
I'm
another one.
also chiming in on his behalf because he's in the China time zone. He can't make it to the upstream meetings. But he had this nice doc where he was trying to add responsibilities of what it means to be a member of the OVN Kubernetes community. And what that means is we have like this member role on GitHub where we add people, right? So as part of that, I kind of tried to tag all the maintainers. So if you guys have anything to chime in, please do. But I think it mostly looks good. The only thing that I felt was a bit controversial is there is a list of reviewers that we have. So should we add a provision where if you're not reviewing enough to the assigned PRs, you get removed, or is that too harsh for now?
That would make sense. The question is whether, yeah, first of all, we should start tracking that, I guess, if people are reviewing their assigned PRs within a reasonable amount of time. And I think kind of agreement, we are not, I think, generally good enough for now with reviewing everything on time. So at least whoever opens CPR and has this automatic reviewer assigned can then ping them in Slack, I guess, and just say, hey, there is this pull request. I'm waiting for your reviews. Like if nothing happens in a week or so. And then, yeah, I mean, of course, it also shouldn't be automatic. Maybe we just can have a discussion with a specific member. And then, yeah, if they're saying maybe they are not willing to be active in this community anymore, of course, there should be a procedure to get them removed, I guess.
Yeah, so I think for now, I'll just go ahead and get that wording in. I'll tell Pang to add it. I'll keep the PR open for another week because he's already been waiting for a long time. And if I don't get any more comments, we can merge it. But if somebody has objections, you can raise another PR to fix it and so on.
Yeah, sounds good. The link is here in the agenda. So if anyone's interested, well, most of us probably would be nice to take a look. I did some time ago, nothing strange was there, I guess, just one question. So yeah, let's try to get that merged. It's been waiting since August. That's not even fun. Okay, now moving on. Girish is next on our agenda with a stateless network policy. Hey, Girish. Are you there?
Sorry, can you hear me? Sorry, I'm here. Sorry, I was talking on mute. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, see, there is this traffic called Rocky, right? And if you want to offload Rocky to a NIC, the Rocky protocol itself is not, it does not like it. If you do connection tracking on it, it does not like it, and because of that, things does not get offloaded. For that reason, if somebody wants to use ACLs on their Rocky traffic on an interface, we introduced this thing called stateless ACLs, where you annotate either a network policy or a multi-network policy with this annotation. And if that traffic matches that particular spec, and if stateless ACL is set to true, then we use OVN stateless ACL and then enforce security groups or ACLs or network policies on the Rocky. Essentially, an annotation or network policy or multi-network policy decides whether the rules within a network policy or multi-network policy is stateless or stateful. So this is something that we have kind of made it upstream. We've been using it downstream for like close to 2 years now for various workload. It's been working nicely, but looks like on the OpenShift front, this PR was not picked up, or I might be wrong. And now, to one of our joint customer, we are trying to demonstrate OpenShift with our Kubernetes on a Rocky stuff, and then this feature is missing in OpenShift, and therefore Rocky is broken in OpenShift. So I just wanted to know from Surya or Nadia or Tim from the previous experience, is there any future for accepting that merge, or can you guys tell us if it's already there or it's not advertised or something? Does it ring a bell on your side, or should I start a Slack thread? So right now the position is, hey, if you want to use OpenShift for workload that is Rocky, which is pretty much any AI inference and training workload, you cannot use ACLs or you cannot basically use Rocky. It's all will be software. You cannot use hardware offload, which is pretty bad for our Kubernetes in general. So
Yeah, I think I'm aware about this problem at least. Let's start a thread, Girish, and we can take it from there. I will
Yeah,
also,
one
yeah.
of the just a tidbit. Okay, I remember Nadia commenting on that PR like 2020, 2 years ago, right? The whole using annotation to tell ACLs are stateless or stateful was something she was not very keen on. But the thing is, to have a separate custom resource to tell a same set of ACLs are now stateless equals true or false, correct? Was a big hammer back then, because if you look at a lot of things, multi-network policies and various other things, we use annotation to change things. So I think as a stopgap, bringing in annotation and then later on have a proper plan to kind of make it a custom resource would be an ideal thing. Otherwise, Rocky is currently broken in our Kubernetes for OpenShift. I'll start a thread and then maybe we can take it from there.
So
Yeah,
let me just say that it's true there was this discussion, and changing the behavior of a CR by an annotation is indeed not the best practice, but we did merge that, and that exists, I guess, both in upstream and downstream. I don't know if we prevent anyone in OpenShift from using this annotation.
We don't
otherwise
we don't document it as a supported
Yeah.
feature. So that means we don't really test it downstream. Our QE doesn't have coverage. So official stance would be that OpenShift doesn't support it. If it needs, and I'm guessing, Girish, you're getting this request from the offload
Common
team,
customers.
right? The other.
Yeah, we have a common customer
So
who's
they
using
also
OpenShift.
pinged us. Yeah, they also pinged us on the downstream side. I think the ask was, I think Dave had asked them to do a support exception or something. But we can take this offline, but I don't think we support it in product. And if it needs to be supported in product, it has to come via PM prioritization.
So yeah, let me start a thread. Okay, at the end of the day, I mean, we have used annotation to tell what networks to use on a pod. We've used annotation to tell multi-network policies. There has been a precedence, for some of these things.
We know, I mean, even so, OpenShift supports the logging one, right? The logging on a network policy is triggered using annotation.
Oh, but logging is different, just to make it clear.
Yeah, exactly. Just to
logging
make it clear, that one is a bit more.
The behavior, it just enhances that.
Yeah, so TLDR, it's exactly what Nadia is saying, and that's also why we don't want to get it into the product. And we would probably not do this path of let's support it with annotation and take it further. So I think the option provided was a support exception or something. But let's talk and figure out how to help here.
Okay, status quo of not supporting is not going to help either. We kind of chart. Yeah, I'll start a thread.
Yep, that's.
But I think
the.
Just Nadia, just to be the upstream OVN Kubernetes supports it, right?
Upstream supports it. The same code downstream. We have been using it for 2 years flawlessly, and offloading.
Do we have it well documented upstream? We should probably.
We should actually.
No.
I think we should.
We don't have user docs for any features, unfortunately. So
I added
some last week.
Because I don't. When I did the release notes, right? Remember we had that gigantic release 1.0 where we outlined all the features we did over 2 years of in Kubernetes. I don't remember calling this out as a proper feature. That's why.
There are some things that are definitely missing here, like docs and then end-to-end tests. I also don't think we added, just unit tests. So maybe
where did you capture everything that you did? Because I would like to audit it, because I'm partaking in so many of these things that may not be documented. At least for your intern, when she comes in, she can read the commit, and hopefully she can read the code and then kind of use LLM to merge those things into a doc.
I think that, I think that is not a hard thing. The hard thing is getting reviews on her PRs that she opens.
Yeah.
That's why I was subtly trying to push this member thing before. But E2E tests, Nadia brings up a good point. I think if we are claiming support for this feature, we should start with E2Es, Girish. Maybe somebody from your side can add that.
Yeah, we can do that.
Okay, awesome. Sounds like a plan. Yep. Okay, thank you guys. And ladies. Okay, I'm coming here next just with a kind of announcement, because I enabled multi-subnet option for our default network in all of our CI lanes. What that means is now we have 3 nodes And the default network for the first two of them will be from this strange subnet. So just in case you look at the nodes and pods and you don't recognize where it's coming from, it's just the default now. So there are two nodes from this subnet and one node from our quote unquote normal subnet for the pod network. So that's just an information for you to not be confused. That all should work just fine, just new IP addresses for you to look out. Yeah, and that's it basically, unless there are any questions. I'll link the PR also in case you're curious. Then we would continue with Joe and some performance workloads and getting them into upstream CI/CD.
Yeah, I'm not all too familiar with the upstream CI/CD pipeline. Tim shared some, I think, like Oracle assets you guys have access to, but essentially we want to get some of our performance workloads we have for OVNK that we run on OpenShift to the upstream. And it doesn't have to be on OpenShift. Like we can run this on just vanilla Kubernetes. And we have two different types of workloads. We have a control plane workload where we test things like UDNs. And we have a data path workload where we do like TCP stream, TCP RR, CRR, and we do that with pods. We do that with UDNs, local nets, virtual machines. We kind of can test the entire gamut for data path as well. But to initially start this work, I would like to just get a control plane workload out there. And we would use a tool called KubeBurner. And we could start super simple, but in order to start, I need to know what we have access to. If I go just in CI, launch a 24 node cluster, are we going to get pretty much, told not to do that? So anyway, I just kind of want to know the parameters of what the CI can be scaled to. How long can we run jobs for? We typically run RCI with a 4 to 8 hour timeout. We can typically get our workloads in specifically just around OVN in about 4 hours at 24 node scale. So yeah, it'd be kind of good to start discussing what we want to target for a performance CI/CD for upstream OVN Kubernetes.
So my guess would be that we only can do that with self-hosted runners. I don't think GitHub runners could properly do that.
Yeah, they're probably too small. So I'll put a link. I don't know if, Joe, if you can access that link or if it has to be a maintainer. But I guess, Nadia, you could share that just so people can see.
Yep.
Yeah, so we do have some pretty big servers that we could try this out on. And these servers aren't being used by our normal CI. So Joe, you could just add a job to use one of these large ones and you can experiment there. And I think that would be fine. Like you're not going to hurt RCI or damage something. Maybe you could make it initially so that it's triggered by like a GitHub comment to run the performance tests. We already have some triggers like that in our repo where you type something in a comment and then Oven Robot will see it. He's our automation CI runner, and then he will kick off something. So you could leverage that to try to kick off your perf scale test and experiment, and you won't be at risk of like hurting our CI pipeline or anything like that.
Okay. Yeah, I just for reference, I do not have access to that page. And I don't know if I would need special permit. Like if I even launched a job, I imagine I'll probably hit the same thing. Even if I have the name, I'll probably need some sort of permissions in order to do this. But
I think if you submit a PR and you just say the runner is one of these, then it should work.
Okay.
Yeah, I think all you need to know, if I remember correctly, it was this label with the full name. I don't remember if there's name matching, but I have an example PR which is very simple, which shows how to pick a specific runner and then you put whatever you want inside. So you could, I'll find the link and send it to you so you can maybe experiment and see if it works.
Okay, yeah, that'd be awesome. And then the obvious follow-on question would be is, it sounds like at least our teams, the people that have been speaking, Tim, Nadia, Surya, myself, we're deploying OpenShift. Is there potentially an opportunity to get something like OKD? We already have proud jobs that use OKD. The only thing that I don't have the knowledge to do is how do I take a PR from upstream OVNK, pull it into a downstream or midstream OKD OpenShift, and kind of wire things together. Like I know how we can build the containers and scale down CNO and swap stuff in. If that's good enough, then maybe we do that instead. But is that also something that we would like to target, or do we just care about like vanilla Kubernetes here?
I think that's more of a Red Hat question, right? Surya?
I guess for upstream too, right? So if we want some like quote unquote more real cluster experience with OVNK running in that to see how performance looks like, I don't know if there is much difference versus just running on upstream kind clusters or whatever we're going to use.
So is the question to add value to OKD or to add value to our upstream by running this stuff in a bigger environment with OKD?
For me, it's what's more representative of how our end customers are going to use it, right? So Kind's cool for us to find regressions in OVNK itself, but like obviously things like Prometheus and other add-on like operators are still going to use OVNK, and we want to make sure that they're also being good stewards of the cluster, right? So there's probably potential that a add-on operator that we have in OpenShift might be, either spinning up too many, network attachment definitions or doing something weird with the networking that we won't catch in something like a vanilla Kubernetes. So that would be my reason for it, less about OVNK at that point, but making sure that like OKD or OpenShift itself works well with whatever changes that are being implemented in OVN. There's a hand up. So Patrick, if that's related to this or something else.
Yeah, so I think for the purposes of OVNK upstream, we have to focus on OVNK and not external and OpenShift or Red Hat specific workloads, right? But I think we might have issues with using Kind as our testing platform, considering that we are using containers as nodes. So I do believe that it should be like beneficial for us to test it on bigger VM flavors, but we might end up finding issues that are specific to the way we deploy Kubernetes upstream. And this is not really a common deployment, right? People are not running Kubernetes with nodes as containers. So first step would be good, but eventually maybe we would need to look into deploying some simple Kubernetes cluster, but a proper one with VMs. And I raised my hand just to quickly get an answer for Nadia. I think you might have the answer. Are these runners ours or
Nope.
are these shared?
Yeah, I think they are shared. They're like CNCF runners that are given by Oracle. And I don't think anyone or many people are using them. At least I've just asked CNCF people for now, mostly in testing mode. So if we're going to be running them more often, we can clarify. But I think no one's using them much now, but they are like available, and CNCF would be very happy if people are using that. So yeah.
Yeah, we could do cron jobs that run in the night or something. Thank you so much.
Yeah, a quick suggestion would be to just open a help test ticket to just tell them that we're going to be using it for periodics. That gets us in the clear and it doesn't take us much long.
Yeah, exactly. So
weird
for
thing.
now, we are just like testing. We don't really know if like it succeeds. So as soon as we understand that it works well for us, and yeah, we want to be using that on a permanent basis, that's exactly what should happen next. And then there will be a question of support that I already asked. And I think there is also some kind of contract with Oracle to, in case something goes wrong, right, with the VM itself or something. I think there are also like some channels and special links where you can open a support request or something. So yeah.
Yeah, and going back to Joe, to what you were saying, I think OKD and OpenShift. So a real representative for our customers is obviously OpenShift, but we can't be doing OKD or OpenShift on OVN Kubernetes upstream because it hurts our incubation chances because we tied too much towards Red Hat products. Even if OKD is an open source version, I still think it wouldn't work. So vanilla OVN Kubernetes installed would be the best way, and we don't have that yet. Like, I don't think it's very well documented, right? I know that there is a way by which somebody can install a Kubernetes cluster vanilla. There's docs for that, and then you can just go do the Helm chart deploy, and then your CNI is supposed to be OVN Kubernetes. So you can go from a vanilla Kubernetes installed on VMs to getting your OVN Kubernetes in, but I don't know how much you're willing to expand your experiments here, because ideally somebody should already give that recipe to you for you to do it in CI. But that would be the natural first step, because you're now solving how do you deploy vanilla OVN Kubernetes, which doesn't have docs, plus do a perf scale job with that.
Right. Yeah. I mean, there's something called KOps upstream in Kubernetes to deploy like a quote unquote production ready vanilla Kubernetes. So we probably could just use that for that aspect, but
yeah, if that's
okay.
like a recommended way for Kubernetes, yeah, it looks official. If it is, then you can just swap out the CNI to be OVN Kubernetes using Helm install.
Sure. That's just going to get to the question of like, do we have it? It supports AWS, GCE, and DigitalOcean, but it sounds like a lot of the CIs in Oracle. So I don't know if
I think we just have raw VMs, right? So you're just getting the bare metal. You're going to have to do everything on top of that, I guess.
Yeah, we can also ask maybe some questions to CNCF, but just my 5 cents is that probably we should just start using Kind, see how that goes. And then, of course, if we hit some problems, that would be the next step. But for now, it would be nice to just set up the Kind-based one. I guess that would be awesome enough.
Yeah, I'll do that. Yeah. Nadia, if you want to shoot me that PR that you have, that is.
I have already. So I just put it here.
Right, sweet. Thank you.
Just, yeah, and ping me if that doesn't work or something, because I've tried that some time ago. I'll, try to figure it out with you. Okay, thanks a lot. So we have 1 minute left. Aline, do you think that's enough time to cover this topic you have? Or should we
I think so, because mine is just a direct question. Is basically like OVN Kubernetes, once it boots up and we have everything configured on the host, what would be the behavior of it if things change on the host? And for that, should I open a Slack thread? Should I open a GitHub issue on how to best deal with that? Or
I guess the best we can do now is there anyone who considers themselves to be familiar with what could happen so that you're included in the thread? Yeah.
Yeah, we've had this issue in the past, and we've tried to reconfigure the host when something like that happens, but I'm sure there's gaps where we aren't doing it.
Okay.
So we have like link managers, like all these different managers inside of OVN-K that monitor to see like if something like that happens, and they're supposed to address it and put the thing back on or reconfigure the thing.
Okay, so I'll open GitHub issues for the issues that I know, and we can follow up on them in the issue, right?
Yeah, sounds good.
Sounds awesome. All right, then we are a little bit over time. Sorry for that. Thank you all for joining the meeting, and I'll see you in January, I guess. Have nice holidays.
Thank you. You too. Bye-bye.
Bye.